What's going on, guys? And well, this is not good. This is not good. I mean, I kind of thought that the anime industry was in a pretty bad position already. I mean, it's making a lot of money, but the people working in the field, they're not doing the best, especially the animators, especially the freelancers, right? They're not doing such a hot job. The voice actors, they're doing great, but everybody else is kind of screwed. So, there is this new tax law in Japan that could probably screw everybody over.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Right? I'm here at the Japan Times, which is basically like the New York Times of Japan. It says the Japan Times, freelancers aren't happy with Japan's new invoice system. Right, we're gonna go over the details, find out what the heck is going on, and I'm gonna get to the to the most important part, so and make it make sense. So pay attention, please. Okay, so it says animators, filmmakers, voice actors, manga artists, and Vtubers. Yeah, Vtubers of all stripes have joined together against this new law. It says while the law is complex, the reason it's hated, the reason why it's hated is effectively a tax increase while the system was created to ensure that businesses will properly pay consumption taxes. For many freelancers and small businesses, the result will amount to 10% tax increase. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. That's 10% tax increase, right? A high enough jump to potentially devastate creatives who already make a living by the narrowest of margins. Yeah, so this is pretty crazy. This is pretty crazy. Now, this is what this is what gets me the most, because it seems to me that the Japanese government has been trying to push this for the longest time. It says the origin of the invoice system date all the way back to the beginning of Japan's consumption tax in 1989. The consumption tax is a tax added onto the purchase of goods or services, typically passed on to the end consumer. The government wanted to introduce the qualified invoice system at the time, but a strong opposition movement delayed its implementation for decades. Yeah, so this law has actually been suppressed for the last 30 years, right? And just now it looks like they're trying to pass it again, and I really hope that it doesn't, because this is gonna take a lot of money out of people's pockets. But worry not, because there is pushback, right? There is pushback, and there's a guy called Matsuo Ueda, a veteran anime producer at Aniplex, has been outspoken voice against the system. In a news conference on June 22, he argued that the invoice system will threaten Japan's already vulnerable animation industry, right? Then it goes on to say, currently there is a shortage of anime talent. That's the Matsuo is saying. But after the transitory grace period, when consumption tax will increase, studios will begin to be it will be difficult to maintain relationships with animators. A lot of you guys don't understand this, but a lot of animators in Japan, they're not hired as employees because that's more expensive. They are hired as contractors. And the Japanese, this is something that the Japanese companies like to do. They rather hire you as a contractor. That way they don't have to pay you other things such as health insurance and other expenses. So they'd rather just keep you as a contract freelancer. Right? It says animators who largely work on a freelance basis earn an average just 1.1 million yen per year in their 20s. Such as precocious level of income that animators will face difficulties whether or not they register with the new tax system. Okay, so 1.1 million yen sounds like a lot of money, right? But when you translate that to the American dollar, that's about less than $8,000 per year. They're making less than $8,000 per year. Just do the math. Do the math and you'll see this is very low. It's a very low paying job. It's less than McDonald's. Well, in America, people are raging about the minimum wage. In Japan, they don't give a shit. You get paid less than the minimum wage in Japan. So, we really need to be a little more grateful that we live in America. I don't mean to be preachy. I don't mean to get all preachy and political to you guys, but I mean, for God's sakes. But for God's sakes, I mean, just take a look at what's happening. So this new tax increase is going to cut jobs because, companies always look for a way to save money. And one of the first things that they do is they start cutting off job positions. And this also affects VTubers because if you're self-employed, if you're a contractor, you're going to get taxed, my friend. You're also going to get taxed. There's no hiding from this. But whatever your thoughts are, make sure to comment below, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications. It's your boy, The Matrix. Godspeed, baby.